This talk for today is reserved for the silver partners of this year's conference, Zencoder, who have greatly contributed to achieving everything we envisioned. So we have Dmitry Krasnov, engineering manager at Zencoder. He will be presenting how AI agents will change the future of programming. Sorry about that. So Dmitry will address the evolving role of AI in programming, from the potential of AI agents to reshape coding tasks to advancements in agent-based benchmarks and emerging models. Give a warm welcome.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. And I'm glad to be here on this audience. It's great to be a data scientist because I'm a data scientist myself. And nowadays where AI is everywhere in every domain, in everyday's life. So at Zencoder, we are building code assistants and we're trying to build a best in a class code assistant. So I am very excited to share with you some insights, some thoughts about it, how is going, where it's going, how it's now. But for the start, I want to talk about the current state of AI in coding. Because when I talk to some people on conference or on the internet, the opinions are pretty polarized. One of the opinions you can see on the slide by the quote of the Google CEO that was told like 1 month ago that now a quarter of all code that written in Google is generated by AI. And if you think about it, it's like amazing. It's a very impressive because Google's code base is very large. And like, I don't know, it's a great number if you think about it. But we also have another opinion, which you can check from this meme that okay, you can use AI, but then you need to debug it and you need to rerun it and stuff like that. So it brings no value to you. You just need to write code by your own. And what I'm thinking about it, when I'm thinking that truth is lying somewhere in the middle. Because, like, don't get me wrong, don't mind that Google CEO is hiding something or stuff like that. But I think that the metric lines of code is not the great metric to measure the quality or value that AI brings. But I strongly disagree that AI brings no value. Because I am as a coder, like I am engineering manager right now, so I don't code as much I used like 5 years ago. But I still write some code. And nowadays, it's much harder to me to code without assistance because I just get used to it. And like, you know, it's just another tool. And to get most value of it, you can just choose the right tool for you, right? So what I think brings value right now, if you want. So first one, and is probably most adapted technology right now in the field, it's code completion. It's pretty simple. You write some code, and code completion, and by code completion I mean some large language models, just suggest some like lines of code for you, some symbols or stuff like that. So you can just accept it if you like it, and if you don't like it, you just ignore it. So it's like just come with no cost, with no cognitive cost for you. You can just like freely skip it if you don't like it, but it's really, really boost your productivity because it like you know, you can focus more on the like thinking about the code than writing code. Second one feature that I think is really great, but it's not used so much is doc generation. Because, well, like everyone has to write documentation and keep it updated is also pain. So like documentation is, most of the companies are pretty outdated or even non-existent. But with AI, you can generate quite good documentation because modern LLMs are trained with the task of summarization. So the quality will be quite good. And if you didn't try it yet, you probably should check it and try, and maybe you would like the results. Third one tool that you can use is some code refactoring. What that means, you just ask your assistant to refactor your code, maybe like fix some errors, or like just adjust like code smells or stuff like that, find some bugs. And it's like harder to use than previous to because you need to be concise with your prompts, you need to be clear, but it's still a great also features that you can use. And the last but not least, it's also a very wide use tool. And for some of my friends, developers, it replacing Google, it replacing searching for Stack Overflow, and it's just chat with the repo, because you can just ask some question about your repo or about some code context or like some, I don't know, concepts, and it will answer to you and it will help you a lot if you stuck. And while I'm talking just right now, maybe you have a question, like the title was about future of development, and I am talking about pretty like, well, I am talking about good and smart things, but nothing particular new. And because, and like, yes, I couldn't disagree with you. I agree that this is not a game changer, but I am just talking about current state. But what I really want to share with some insights, it's about next frontier in coding. This is something called AI agents, and this is totally different beast, and it's completely changed the game, I think. So what is AI agents? Probably a lot of you know about it, but I'll briefly touch it so we can be on the same page. So when we call something a traditional software, this means that this is just some set of instruction which is predefined. And when we talk about agentic behavior, we are talking about some autonomous system that lives in environment and interacts with environment. So I'll try to explain in simple example. So I don't know about you, but I like robot vacuum cleaners. I love these little helpers, and like I'm kind of a geek, and I also kind of lazy to clean my room. So I use it like for, I don't know, 10 years maybe. And the old version of these robots was helpful, but not very smart. So you can see the trajectories on slide. So it was kind of chaotic. So it like, because it was simple, so we just hit the obstacle, turn to some degree, go next, hit next obstacle. And while it's definitely helpful and it helped you to clean your room, but it still left some like places untouched, and some like things can disrupt its flow. So like it's good, but definitely could be better. But sometimes after, technology is evolved. And the new robots got the updates, so they got some agentic behavior. So before starting to clean, they first build the map of your room. Then it make a plan how they should do it. And if something is happening during the cleaning, they could adjust, they could stop, they could rerun, and stuff like that. And with these updates, these robots become much, much powerful. And the similar concept applies to coding, because like how everyday coding life looks like. So you wake up, you grab a coffee, you open laptop, you grab a Jira ticket, and like you're trying to solve it. So for example, we have some ticket about some bug in some part of your code base and stuff like that. So of course you can do it without any assistant, do it just by your own, but it's maybe not very good these days because it's like you can do better. And if you use just a regular assistant, what will be your pipeline? So at the first, you need to ask assistant to like got the idea and ask like for solutions. Then you probably need to open your code base and maybe re-ask the questions. Then you need to fix the issue, like with help of code completion, of code generation, or stuff like that. And after that, you need to check that the issue is gone. So you need to rerun it, rerun your program, run your unit test. And if it still fails, you need to go all these steps once again. So helpful, but it could be better. And there is when agents come into the game. Because for the agents, you just pass in the issue, and with integration, it could be, you can even just pass the Jira ticket, and the agent will do it by its own. So how is it possible? Well, because agentic systems is built on top of some principles. So these principles are, for example, tool usage. So agent could use some tools from your editor. For example, it could open your files to read it. It could edit your files. It could search internet if it needs, if it decides that it needs. Second principle is to do a planning step. So before starting to do something, agent will just plan what it needs to do to fix this issue. And the third one is reflection. So agent could see what it have done, check if everything goes well, and then adjust behavior if not. Because, for example, like if you use LLMs, they are pretty good in generating new content. So if you ask for some, I don't know, answers about your code base, it could give you a great answer. But if you ask it to edit your files, it would probably fail. Just because it didn't train to edit files. It's just trained to predict next new token. And that's because the reflection step is crucial. So it always should stop and think what have been done already. And this sounds pretty great and pretty advanced. And but you know, we also need to evaluate how good these agents are, right? And for this, for evaluating AI agents, there is different benchmarks, but benchmark, this is pretty much industry standard right now. It's called SW bench. And it has different versions. I will not go deep into it, but the most recent and most advanced versions called SWE bench verified, which is created by OpenAI, and it consists of set of real repositories. So like it's Python repositories like Django or like requests. And it consists of real issues. So for example, somehow user faced some bug and it opened an issues, and this was parts from GitHub. And in these data sets, all this information is gathered together, and it passed to the AI agent. AI agent needs to make a pull request, and then this pull request goes to some Scholar system. And Scholar system like runs some tests to see if issue is resolved or issue is not resolved. And like it's pretty simple, but it's pretty good example, because to evaluate the code quality, you cannot just run some like metrics like similarity or stuff like that. And you need to have a real unit test to check if it's working. And this benchmark contains different examples, and there are also different complexity. And they are measured by time complexity, how many times it needs to be solved by senior engineer. And like 40% of these tasks are quite easy, so it needs less than 50 minutes to resolve. Another 50% needs like to take up to 1 hour to resolve, and remaining 10% needs like more than an hour, like up to 4 hours or even more. And you probably want to see the results, how good they perform right now. And I have this beautiful chart for you. So, and if you can see that progress is truly amazing, because even like, check it carefully, even 1 year ago, there are nearly 0% resolved. Like near zero, like best model resolved probably 7% or something like that. So it because models weren't so smart as it now, and B, agentic pipelines got improved. What I mean by improved, so agents now could use more tools, like they're better on editing files, or reading files, on searching files. And more and more agents are better interacting with environments. More and more agents could run unit tests to like check if everything goes right. And like, even 3 months ago, when this version of benchmark was released, the result was only 30%. And nowadays it's like over 50%. Progress is truly amazing, and like I don't see like any decline in this progress, because new models, new pipelines, new ideas, it's like everywhere. And like, if this still doesn't click with you, I have like real example from my experience, which somehow changed my mind, which was like some months ago. So some months ago, we like testing our early build. So this is like recording from our real like Jira from tracker. So sometimes our QA found the bug. It's like on the screen, and our panel was flickering when we add a new like line. So don't be scared. Our designer reworked. Now it's look much better. But like still, at that time we faced that bug, and we assigned this bug to our senior developer. And he started troubleshooting it. And he spent a whole day trying to fix it. So he tried to debug, he tried to Google, he tried to ask colleagues, he tried to ask like assistants. He even like opened bug tracker to check if there are similar bugs are present. But he couldn't find the solution. So he said that, okay, we need to rewrite it completely. It's some legacy. I don't mind. I need 2 more days to fix it. And like I'm a manager, say like, okay, take 2 days if it's that hard. But also we were experimenting with agents that days, and we tried our new agent, which was like invented recently. And after a few minutes of working, this agent solved the issue. And like solution was not so easy, because there are some errors and configs in totally different place, and we didn't open and didn't think about it. But there was like a situation when all of you like start to like splitting into 2 groups. Like half of the team was scared, because like AI will replace us. Like how would we live right now? Like other half was truly inspired. Like this is great. This is a good product. This is the future. And when you see it in action, it's really totally different experience when you just like hearing about it or even implementing these engines. And I, as a manager, like I am seeing a great perspective here. So like after that, I thought for some time about it, and like what I want to share with you at the end. So like first, I want to say that progress in these autonomous systems are truly amazing. So you are attenders of data science conference, but maybe even some of you didn't hear about these agents or SW bench and stuff like that. But it's like I don't know, it's like ramping up. It's like become better and better, like month to month. Like, and if you could think about the projection, how it goes, like it's like truly amazing. The second one, like a lot of people scared, they like AI will replace humans, that like there will be no programming task, like what will we do? But I think that the truth is the opposite. There will be even more programming jobs, because like all the companies will invest in this technology, and there will be more and more tasks to solve. But like the whole situation with coding will change because most of the boring boilerplate task will be like done by assistants. So everyday routine will be not about doing boilerplate code, but about thinking on creative tasks and about managing your assistants. Like right now, seniors are managing, or maybe say mentoring junior developers. Probably situation will be the same, but instead of junior developers, you will have like coding assistants. And for the last topic, I think that domain knowledge will be the key. Because, for example, right now, to apply to some job, you need to be like a very good programmer, and like your domain expertise is like not that valuable. But with the AI agent, it will be changed. And if you like, for example, you have great experiences marketing, you will apply to the job, like, I don't know, programming in e-commerce, and you could get your job. So for starting up, it will be much easier to start up and be a programmer. And so if like any one of you are like also excited, you can try this agent, so you can try it for free. With Zencoder, it's a plugin that you can install from VS Code or JetBrains, and like to be on the edge of the progress. And so like I'm happy to share it with you. So maybe you have some questions to me and I could answer you.
So let's say that SWE bench is actually equivalent to real life. Like you showed us the graph where most of the problems are kind of like easy and they are solvable in like 15 minutes or less. And some of them are like taking more than 15 minutes up to 4 hours. The reason that it takes most senior software like developers more than 15 minutes is because we lack the focal field. We cannot actually go through the entire code base as fast as AI agents. So I am not like shocked that it made the progress to like 60%. But AI agents are not good at planning, human beings are. And most of the time when people write code, they think about writing code. They plan how to develop a particular feature, and that's why it takes like a longer time. But since AI can't reason or plan well, it can only generate well. Do you think that it will plateau after, let's say, 75% based on the distribution that you gave us?
Yeah, it's a good like questions, but I could tell that I probably need to add this graph. I just don't do it, so it will be harder to maybe to get this presentation. But in fact, if you see the real distribution, there is not something like, okay, AI solve all easy tasks and half of the like harder task and solve 0% of hardest task. No, that's not like it. So it's also fail in some simple tasks, which could take only 15 minutes. And it depends on different stuff. But like, so for the first, it's like not working that way. So it could also fix a hard problem. And while you're talking about reasoning and planning, and this is like exactly why the agents could jump in from 0% to like 50%, because the planning step is applied. So this benchmark is like open, and you can check the like logs for these agents, and you see how it's thinking. And for example, top agents are like not starting writing code. Top agent first trying to write unit tests that found this bug, and it trying again and again. And when then trying back, then trying to think, okay, what that need to be done. So the planning step is the reason why it's so good right now. And this is like the area where every company, probably, it's like my opinion, okay, it's like maybe not every company, but a lot of companies that are developing AI is like putting a lot of efforts, planning and reasoning step. So I think that this SW bench will be like resolved after some time, and it will be definitely go past 75%. It will be closer to like, I don't know, like closer to 100%, I think. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for the talk. I would like to ask you if there is a confidence level that this tool can give while evaluating. So, except the general benchmark that you mentioned, because, for example, in some critical domains like medical domains or something like this, even easy tasks mean risk of life of people. So, if there is a way to kind of customize it more to specific to your area, like or something like this.
So are you asking like about confidence, so how it could in resolving? So yeah, there are like some like as a part of improvement on this progress is because like tools that are called like reflection. So like some like level of resolved issues was raised because this like more powerful critics were added at the end of the pipeline. So when we like solve this issue and then different model try to check if it's everything is correct, and then we run if it doesn't seem that everything is correct or it doesn't sure. So like first it's like also a field where it's improving. And for the like your second probably what you're trying to say is that, if I understand you correctly, that there are some like critical parts and we like don't have opportunity to like have an error. So like probably like first, even in medical situation, even right now, if you have, for example, I don't know, like X-ray for your lungs, and you have like 5 radiologists, and they will disagree what's going on, all 5 of them. Like they will be not very aligned between it. And if you take AI, so AI will fail and this radiologist will fail. But like even with this level of technology, there is often that AI is even now is better. It's just because of how we think about it that when it's like human mistake, it's like human mistake. And when it's AI mistakes, it's like we just like treat it differently. So like I don't see is a big problem here. I think it will be eventually surpass the human level and it still be like less errors than human makes because humans are not perfect either.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, thanks, great talk. Let's say that I'm a big enterprise and I want to deploy this thing. So a couple of things pop into my mind, right? So can you guarantee that, well, which kind of models are you using? Can I use my, I don't know, cloud models that I already have connected to this? How do I guarantee that they go in whichever walled off garden, and how do you license for tens of thousands of clients? Do you have any use case? I mean, I know I'm asking too much questions.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of how does this apply to an enterprise? Do you have experience? And yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably not about like I couldn't talk about all AI agents. I could tell for our company Zencoder because like we are aiming for the enterprise projects and like what we are doing. We are working with large code base and stuff like that. So we are focusing not on like creating new small projects. We are more focusing on like enterprise code, legacy code, and so on. And for your question, yeah, there are different situations, like different solutions. So some models could be run in cloud, some models could be run like in your dedicated like VPNs and like no code is going through like your network. So yeah, of course, you have a solution. It should be described and like, but we understand the problem and like we have some solution. I just can't talk a lot about it. And by like you also asked what kind of models we use. Well, we use different models because we're trying to deliver a best experience, and like some models are good in some areas, but like not good in other areas. And like for some tasks, even we don't have a good model, and we are train our own. So it's like a very complex pipeline inside it. So like it's different models.
Okay, thank you. We catch up after the call.
Okay, of course.
Okay, everyone. So now we will have a coffee break, and if any of you have additional questions for Dmitry, you can ask him then, and we will resume our talks at 4:45 in this hall. Thank you.
Thank you.